Okay, hello again. So I thought now would be a good opportunity for me to kind of show you what is all on eLC, right? So eLC is going to be how we're going to communicate for this course. It's going to make things pretty simple. Like I said, I'm going to help you through this course, that sort of thing. If you have any questions, like again, I'm a phone call, I'm a Zoom, I'm an email away. But I do think it's important you recognize an online course. Those that do well are self-motivated, and research kind of suggests that having due dates along the way helps keep us accountable. Because if I had no due dates, you might procrastinate for a while. Maybe. I'm just saying if I had no due dates, I might do the same thing. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you eLC and kind of how to navigate it. Okay. And try to answer some maybe commonly asked questions. So I'm going to share my screen. And I think this should do it. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen here. Good. So what I have here is I have our home screen for communicating relationships. So there's a basic sort of welcome, and every week, typically on Monday and sometimes on Friday, I'm going to post an announcement telling you some things that are coming up, things that you may need to take care of, and what's coming up. Like, for example, you need to watch some videos here, you need to read the syllabus, you need to do the introduce yourself discussion board, as well as take your syllabus and academic honesty quiz, which you will see because it's in our assignments and things that are due. So this is where you're going to find those sort of assignments. I recommend you add a photo of yourself. I have one of here of me and Mr. Tom Selleck, from a throwback of Mr. Magnum PI, Quigley Down Under. I think he was on a few episodes of Friends even, but he was in Money Walsh. He's just an old guy with a huge mustache that I will never be able to grow. So that's me and Tom. And so that's the basic homepage. Now we need content. We're going to click here to access course content. And this, my friends, is where most of our content is going to be. So if you look on your left here, it's going to show different places that we can go, right? So we have module 1, 2, 3. That one's currently open. So 3, we have 4, 5, 6, that sort of thing. So that's kind of how this thing functions. So we have welcome to communicating relationships, and it's going to kind of go through it like this. You're going to see your quizzes, you're going to see online, you're going to see discussion boards, you're going to see activities. So for example, module 1, right here we have an activity. You need to do the activity, upload it to that activity Dropbox. You need to do discussion. You need to do the class readings. You're going to do the readings first every time because it's going to be really difficult to do all in the activity, to apply concepts you don't know about. It's certainly going to be impossible to do a discussion because you're going to need to do some pretty serious writing every week for that. There's not a ton of readings, but I do expect you to engage with them. So you need to read the discussion prompts that are both on eLC and on your syllabus on your syllabus that's on eLC. Okay, so readings, and after each module, we're going to have a quiz. Usually about 10, 12 questions, nothing too difficult. A lot of the answers are going to be on the PowerPoint, so keep that in mind. But also, I draw from the journal articles I'm asking you to read, which aren't easy. So I do recognize that. And post a PowerPoint as well. So that's roughly how this is set up. That's roughly how the modules are set up for this course. This is pretty much where everything's at. So each one's pretty similar in how the layout is. You're going to see here in tools, you can go to discussions, quizzes, those sort of things. Also, you can see a rubric. I have a rubric for the discussions for this course. It's really important that you're aware of those and you can see that because that's how I'm going to grade your discussions, which is where a lot of your grades come from. So because it's an online course, I'm not going to spend like a long time going over the syllabus. You can read through that. Let me know if you have questions. But for the most part, I have it posted just here. You need to read through it. You need to understand this type because in a regular day-to-day course, if we had meeting every person, we met every day in person, which is awesome. I teach in the fall. Please take my class. If you like this, I can remind you of deadlines. And if you get behind on something, we can figure it out. Online, we can still figure it out, but you need to really know what's in that syllabus for an online class in order to do well. Okay, so let's say probably some commonly asked questions for this might be like, okay, so I'll open the syllabus. So I think a commonly asked question would be, so what are we graded on? And what are the due dates? Those are all super fair, but let's start with this first. Office hours, Thursday, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. If you can't make that, no big deal. send me an email. I can meet with you pretty flexibly. Let's try to stick to Thursday if it works for you. Okay, email, 48 hours. You email me, I'll usually get back to you in under 24 hours, usually in like less than 12, but I do have a 48-hour email requirement. So like if I don't get back to you after 48, send it again because I missed it. Okay. So I do get back very quickly, but let me know if it's over 40 hours. It got buried. I don't know what happened to it. It doesn't usually happen. I'm just saying double send it if that happens. We talked about the course, the objectives, that sort of thing. Here's our course schedule. This is important to understand. So for example, here we have module 1, things you need to do. And you also have module 2 and 3. And you will see that here is where the hard deadlines are, which I talked about earlier. Everything needs to be done by this time, 6/23. And if it's not, you will get a 0 on everything. Everything. You cannot finish this course in the last month. You'll fail. Okay, so there's 3 big deadlines, and there's smaller, softer deadlines right here on the right corner that'll help you stay up to date. So if you need a soft deadline, this is where to go. Okay, and then all quizzes 1, 2, and 3 need to be completed by this first hard deadline, as well as the final project part 1. Okay, and we'll talk about that more. I'll talk about that more next week. So that is how this course schedule works. Same thing's true here. So because of that, here's what we don't have. We don't have a single exam, and we don't have a final, certainly not cumulative. So that is kind of the way that this course works. Okay, so the assignments are all right here. Read through them. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll talk more about the project in the future, excuse me. But I want us to understand these things. And also late policy. I don't really do late policy. I do for in person, but online it's really difficult to do. So I do not do late work in this course, right? So unless you have like a really official excuse, I don't take late work. Discussion guidelines are right here. It's important you know those, as well as what it looks like if you'd like to appeal a grade. Look at that. I'm always happy to talk about grades if you have questions. I don't want that to be an intimidating experience. I want you to get points back if I make a mistake, okay? Every time I want you to get points back. But I do expect you to have like a case for it because I want you to have a good reason to want points back, not because, I didn't do good, I want more points. It's like, well, did you study? Well, no. Sorry, I can't help you, right? You got to put your time in. So let's see. Basis for appeals, honor code, accommodations. If you have accommodations, please let me know. Talk to the DRC. I think everybody deserves a chance to like get education in a way that's accessible to them, that works for them. I'm all about accommodating whatever accommodations that you have. Those are awesome, those are important, but I need to know them. So let me know them. Let's put them in place if you think you might need something. If you don't know if you need them, but you feel like you might, let's talk. I'll forward you through to student care and outreach and that sort of thing, as well as different resources online, because the campus has some pretty good resources that can be really helpful for you. So those have helped a lot of people that I care about, my friends, former students. You can do a lot with that. So that's for accommodations, but also college can be stressful, and we're back to online classes. So, maybe we don't have a lot of contact with people. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But if you need basic mental health or wellness resources, we have student care and outreach. We have a number here. We have links. I've had lots of students, like I said, friends, myself, people that have used therapy. It's been very helpful. So if you think that might be helpful over the summer, it's a lot easier to get in. So that could be something that's really helpful as well. So like I said, look at some of those things, look into them. And when it comes to the DRC resources, I do want you to get to those sooner than later, because it's better that you have those in place and don't need them than you need them and they're not in place. Okay, so that's how I would handle that. If you're on a different time zone, let me know, and we can try to make the different deadlines work. I want to accommodate people if you're in a different part of the US or in a different part of the world right now, because this is an online class and you should all have a chance to do well in it. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for this. Look through it, ask me questions. Good luck. We're still recording, and goodbye.